Good morning. We've got a little bit of a way down the trail. I think you can see some of the buildings from the trailhead. There's a line of mountains or a ridge or a mesa or whatever you call that. And I'm in the Dog Canyon area. I've got a campsite reserved for tonight. Woke up at my dispersed campsite. I wasn't feeling too energetic, so I relaxed a little bit more, looked at the maps. Nothing stood out to me for a little bit. It looked like the loops that are up here are probably too much. Well, I could probably do them, but it's more than I want to do. And I'm doing stuff that I want to do. It's one of the nice things about traveling alone, is I don't have to agree with anyone else or coordinate or anything. I'm trying to, I guess, keep the hiking momentum up by going hiking, but I'm also taking care of myself. I want to get to where it feels good just all the time, and I think I'm kind of in that process of acclimating to hiking. I don't want to push it too hard, because that'll make it more difficult to go on future hikes. Let's see what we got here. Intersection, Bush Mountain, Tejas. I think I'm going up Bush Mountain. There's a Overlook that's this way on the map. I thought I'd go up to that and see how I'm feeling. Let me move the mic. I might punch it a little bit. Try to get closer to my face, so hopefully that's better. There's a little bit of wind here. I don't know if it's playing up on the mic, but like I said, I'll go up to the Overlook, see what that's like. Just from looking at the contour, from looking at the topo, that other ridge just didn't seem very interesting to me as far as like what you're probably, the view you're looking at. But I don't know, I can't tell for sure. And I might come down it anyways. There's on the park guide map, there's it has marked on it a unmaintained trail that is not on the topo map, but I kind of see where it is, I think, and it should be around that Overlook. I think it just basically goes up the ridgeline to a peak. I think the peak's, it's under 8,000 feet. It's like 7,800 or something like that. And there's a trail next to it. I don't think, the trail doesn't go directly up to the peak on the map, but that probably means there's still like unofficial trails up there, because like you can't bring people that close to a peak and not expect them to go up it. So there'll probably be some trails to pick up from there, and then so if I do end up doing that, it could be a little bit dangerous in that I might be leaving the trail or the unmaintained trail. Who knows how easy it is to follow. I'd basically be following I would be comfortable following the ridge line because that's pretty obvious, and it'd be pretty obvious when you hit the peak. But there's a little bit of added danger by leaving the trail like that in a place that's pretty hostile like this. Basically any place that doesn't have water easily accessible becomes a lot more hostile. I'm a big fan of water, but I've got 2 liters of water with me, plus another liter of mostly water and a hydration mix I picked up at REI when I was there. And so it makes me feel pretty good. I'm pretty typically I'll usually go out on 2 liters. But if I go on my longer hikes, I like to have a lot of times I'll do 2 liters and bring a filter with me and pick up water along the way. But I probably won't get to do. Well, I don't have a filter with me because I'm not expecting to run across anything I could pick up anyways. But I'll probably just keep a pretty slow pace, pretty relaxed. I want to just enjoy the day. It's a nice sunny day. The weather's comfortable, temperature's comfortable, there's a nice breeze. Pretty good hiking weather. It's not very crowded down here, it seems, on this side of the park. And I'm already set for a campsite. I mean, honestly, it would have been fine to just go do that dispersed camping again. It's only like 13 miles north of the park. And there was only that one other group of people there. But it is the weekend today, so it's usually best to try to, well, stuff can fill up on the weekend, so it's not bad to have a spot already lined up. And I like that I'm up in a less trafficked part of the national park system on the weekend. Tomorrow being Sunday, I think I might do mostly travel tomorrow. We'll see. I'm thinking of just mostly driving, getting closer to the arches. I think Canyonlands might be on the way, or there might be another park as well. I might swing by and just take a look. But I still do need, or I want to get some hiking poles. I was thinking I can get them in Moab. I think that's on the way to the arches, or right next door, or I don't know. I think that's an outdoor town. I don't know how much stuff there is there. If they have an outdoor store. But I really did enjoy the soup last night. Had I think it's a sweet potato curry soup from the Amy's brand. I really like that brand of soup. And it's a good flavor. And like I mentioned in another video, I've learned that heating them up is unnecessary. So it's just super simple. Open the can and find a spoon. And easy peasy. And I was actually, because I was traveling between, I was still on the road a little bit and going by some towns, I checked to see what I really did want a vegetable soup. Or like a stew. I don't know how many restaurants, that's what I was thinking, is I don't know how many restaurants actually carry vegetable soup or stew. It seems like a hole in the market, maybe. I don't know. I think maybe Panera Bread. I don't know who else, like if there's any chains that do, or I think like some, or I mean even just vegetables in general. You have like places that have salads, but I don't really like, salads are hard for me to eat. The lettuce sticks in my throat a lot. I have trouble swallowing, so it's been an ongoing problem. Last year, the time I was out here, I got to the point where I had trouble swallowing water. So it definitely helped with my weight loss. But I think it might have been like irritation from either the dust in the area, or there was, I think, some mold in the building I had been working on. So there might have been irritation or reaction from that. But and that's been an ongoing problem for multiple years, that I've struggled to eat, I've struggled to sleep correctly from it's a compound problem. Like I don't know exactly I don't think it's just one thing that's wrong. I think a lot of it has to do with inflammation though. And it has been getting better, and it's been improving slowly. And I think I did try to get it looked at. I've had a scope down my throat a couple of times. That was a while ago, a couple of years ago. And they didn't really offer any good path forward, any solution. So, sort of been learning to treat it on my own and live with it, but starting to try to reduce inflammation, kind of things that might cause inflammation, and just learning what works and what doesn't. And I guess one thing that doesn't work very well a lot of times is salads. I used to like spinach salads. I can probably eat them once in a while, or like, especially when I have time. I don't like going into a restaurant. Going into a restaurant and ordering is intimidating. I can't always be sure when I want to have a tough time eating. It's better to get takeout. Fortunately, with the pandemic thing, made a lot more businesses are, I guess it's just very common to take out now, like everywhere. So they kind of like everywhere built it into the routine. So it's something I can do. But yeah, vegetable soups, vegetable stews, vegetables in general. Where do you go if you don't want just a salad? Should there be a place that is known for that? It looks like there's some people. I'm gonna pass in a minute. I don't know. I'll probably leave the camera rolling, but I'll not be talking. That seems awkward to me. Actually, I'm gonna switch it over to hyperlapse. Frame, it's hard to see. There's another one around here somewhere. Lost track of it. Here hunting. It's a bit windy. Let's see how this mic does in it. But still climbing up these hills. There's a little bit of gray over there. Gotta keep an eye on it. I don't see the end of it. Stuff like that can come at you in the mountains. It could be a whole storm on the other side of that mountain. I wouldn't know till it came over. But those don't look too threatening. Not sure if they'll drop any rain on the way if they come over. Trying to decide what direction they're moving as well. Kind of doesn't look like they're moving very fast at all. It might be more obvious on the hyperlapse which way they're moving. But enjoying the hike. Super weather. Super comfortable hiking weather. I did realize I had the camera on wide angle. The first clip of the hike. I think I switched it back to normal. See, get a chance to compare what that's like. But shouldn't be too bad. Can go over some of the camping details. Oh, I forgot to mention that the stars were really out, really nice last night, really visible. People were saying that you could see them in Big Bend, and that's probably true. It seemed like there was, in the campsite at least, it seemed there were a lot of lights around. I don't know if people go somewhere else to see the stars, but the campsite I was at last night, north of the Guadalupe Mountains in New Mexico, it was pretty dark and pretty good for seeing the stars. And I had a little bit of just a thinking moment about it. I was thinking about the stars, and sometimes I think the knowing too much about them may take some of the mystery out of them. That maybe it was more fun to look at the sky in ancient times in some ways, when there was more like mystery and wonder about what was up there. But I don't know, maybe it's like there's probably some blame to place on educators that there's not some more wonder about what's going on up there. Seems like textbooks, the thing I didn't like about them is it's all I guess they're trying to establish their authority or whatever. They don't want to look weak or anything, so they always got to tell you all the stuff they know. But I come to find out later, all the interesting bits, the parts I would have liked to know, is all the stuff we don't know, what we're still working on. Like, that's how I would want to I don't know, maybe it's different for different people, what they would be interested in. But that's how I'd like to be introduced to sciences. Be like, yeah, these are the problems we're still working on. This is what some stuff that's happened recently, and here's what we think, here's what we don't know. Like, that's interesting. And it's crazy how easy it is to find stuff we don't know. Like I think the educators all like want to come together and make it sound like we've got everything figured out. Make life, I think maybe that makes life comfortable and easy for people that feel like they've got stuff figured out. But there's a lot of stuff we still don't know, and a lot of the stuff they say they know, they're just guessing. Or, like, considering the history of science, a lot of it's going to be overwritten and rewritten and just plain wrong. But anyways, I think it's good to I feel like I should look at the sky more often and wonder about it more. It feels like there was some sort of a connection there, something important. In some ways, I think it provides the lesson. Like, I think there's some cultures that grew up inside of a mountain that nobody could climb. I think that's probably good for them to know, like, to see something in your backyard that's impossible, to know that you're limited, to know that you're, like, puts you in your place. I feel like it helps you get a better understanding of your setting in the universe. Of course, then those got climbed, but they're still formidable, even if they've been climbed now. But I guess space and stars can do that for us. Like how crazy all the stuff that we don't know still is out there, and we can still see it every night. We can't even get close to like everything that might get us to really seeing them for real is all just theoretical, and there's plenty. It's not a bad bet to take that we might never find a way to get there, but it also is not a bad, I don't know, humans do stuff that's impossible, so you never can write that out. But anyways, the thought from last night was that there's these galaxies. I guess I don't know how you tell it. I don't know if are the brighter stars like stars in our galaxy, and then the dimmer ones are galaxies or something like that. I don't know if that's a rule or if that's how it works. I haven't studied much of that, but I know there are stars and there are galaxies. Some of the stuff that points of light that we see are galaxies, and either one pretty big. Either one, for how they appear here, just like the scope and the magnitude of it. And then you think about how easy it is for us to ignore them or to hide them. So a little bit of light pollution, and you can't even tell they're there anymore. And so I think that's how a lot of the earth is, and the natural world, that there's more hidden there than you may know. It can be easy to ignore or to feel like you're seeing stuff when there's hidden galaxies you can't see. So it's good to be humble. And it's good to be quiet. It's good to be quiet, or to dim your lights once in a while at least, so you can see, so you can hear, because there's a lot of stuff out there. And I think it's just good to pay attention, to not be always the ones making noise, the ones speaking. Kind of like, feels like in our culture, that's the way of things. The loud people are always on TV, and people talking, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know what's what. They've never taken a moment to think. Get some balance. Get some perspective. But I guess the sky's still up there every night. Reminding people of their place in the universe. Those will, I don't know, I feel like there's some value in figuring that out. I think it might make some people anxious. For me, I think it just good reason to relax, chill out. You can do what you can, but there's a lot that's beyond you, no matter what you do. So learn to live your life. I think that's the way of things that a lot of people don't get taught, and part of what I want to talk about at some point is how to not know things. I think that's more important. That might be more important than what you know, is what you don't know and how to interact with it. I think a lot of people feel like they know everything and they get like support for that, especially people that don't travel. If you don't travel, you live in the same place for 40 years, you feel like you know stuff. Like everywhere you go, you know the people, you know the places, you can describe it, you can catalog it, you know everything. That's what I think people start feeling like they know everything, because they kind of do for where they're at. But then they like take that same mindset, they go wherever they go. It's just not appropriate. It's probably pretty windy. It's pretty windy. My back is in the wind now, but if I turn around and start walking, it'll be hitting the mic directly. So I probably need to stop this and just get hiking. Just remembered I had one of the filters on. It was probably too strong. It was the 3 of 4, so 32 whatevers. And I was thinking with this cloud cover I might go to just without the filters, but I'm trying the 1 of 4, so 8 whatevers, and see how that does. Because it still, it was bright when I started, obviously, that's why I put the filter in. I didn't see the clouds yet, so it's getting a little covered, but the sun's still coming out sometimes. I'm not sure if it's going to get covered. Oh, and we're testing mic and wind. It's not as bad as it was. I think I've been sheltered a bit by this rise, but we might get a little bit more wind up here. See how that does. Actually, I need it tested anyways. See how it is in high wind. I think there's a wind setting that I should probably try to find and see. I don't know, let's see. Let me see if I can find it in the settings. So I found a button on the side of the mic that might be, I kind of remember it might have to do with the wind reduction function. So I tried pushing it. It might have been on all this time and now it's even worse. Or it could be working. So I guess we're testing that right now. See how it sounds. I tried looking to see if it looked like it was taking more input between having the button pressed and pressing the button again, but I couldn't really, it didn't seem definitive to me. So we'll try this for a bit. I'll probably have to listen to it later and see. I don't know which to guess is on. I think there's a light that stays on. So my guess would be that's on if the light is on. But it's a red light, which could mean off. So I don't know. It's probably on now. See how it does. It's kind of a little bit blustery up here. Mic isn't too far from my face. It's down on one of the straps for the chest harness. That's what the camera's mounted on. And I guess I could throw in a little bit of talk about what I had for breakfast. I had I was really glad to find that I had some dried apricots. That was actually kind of what I wanted. Some dried apricots or apricots, or however you say it. And then, what else? I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, those chocolate covered fruity things. I had a couple of those. And a few swallows of orange juice. I got a gallon of orange juice at the truck stop when I was there a couple days ago, and it's on its last legs. I'll probably finish it off tonight. Try to get some more as I travel. I like having juice. Orange juice, apple juice, something. And yeah, pretty good, easy breakfast. Hit the trail. I've got some granola bars. I never feel like eating when I'm out here, but I've got some granola bars in case I do. Different kinds. And I need to get more of those blocks. I might even have some. I thought about it after I left the car. I wasn't going to go back. I wasn't even that far from the car, but I really should. I just like those, so I should just get more of those and carry them, because I actually like them and I actually use them. There's something scrambling around in there. Probably a lizard. But so I've started out with the 3 liters of liquids, 2 of waters, 1 of hydration mix. Then got my food. I actually put it on a jacket in this weather. It's kind of right on the middle. It's like right on the edge of being too hot with it or too cold without it. So I'm just taking it easy, going slow, so I don't sweat too much. And I'll leave it on for now while I'm in the high winds, especially. And then I've got a rain jacket in there. I've got the survival blanket and sunscreen. I put on some sunscreen before I left. I've got a hat, a little bit of shade for my face mostly, and I've got my maps, and I actually have a compass with me. So that, I mean, one of the biggest functions for that is just being able to plot a straight line. Like, you don't even have to know almost anything if you can plot a straight line. Cause like I think that's a lot of people when they get lost, getting turned around. That can at least be part of your strategy. Cause like the area I'm in and where I'm planning, if I go off trail, the place or like it's not a maintained trail, which might be about the same. If I go over there, I'll be in the middle of a bunch of trails. So if it really came down to it, as long as if I move in a straight line, eventually I'll hit a trail. The biggest risk would be going over the trail without realizing that you'd crossed it. But this one's been a little faint in some places, but mostly pretty easy to identify. They're definitely easier to see from the top. So I think you'd want to be uphill generally if you're searching for a trail. Because from below it would just blend in. But if you're up above it, I think you'll see it better. Let's get that wind picking up now. I guess we're really in the test now. I'm feeling like a news reporter on the talk about a hurricane or something. It's a little bit windy. So let's go back to hyperlapse and see how we do. I don't think it's probably not that far to the Overlook. It's not really a great place to do a turnaround, is it? Oh well.